Good morning, everyone. Again, welcome to session 9, which is done at 9 in the morning. That wasn't intended, though, but welcome. Last session, we had finally made it to what you guys had discovered is the primal plane. On conversation, you had met the endearing Hudson, the old but wise Harlem, the spunky and very peppy Annalise, as well as the reliable craftsman Schroffen. As you had discussed with them, you had found out that where you landed is generally only in a location where the Raven Queen has brought into her inner circle. This, as well as finding out that Bellini did not land anywhere near where these people had found it. You had taken some of their hospitality and traded some stories. Polly had discussed about his time in the ethereal plane with Mordecai. Annalise had fully believed it. Eventually, the conversation led to Schroffen giving you some modifications to your weapons, letting you know that to get to the direction you were heading for the Lichen Camp, you needed to move through the Nemozani woodlands, also known as the ever-changing forest. And as the party stands in front of this tree line, after a few genuine words from Harlem, you glance around to see that for a gargoyle of a 14-foot construct, he moves fairly quickly. He is gone. You don't even really have a recollection of the path that you came from, but you are standing in front of this forest known as the Nemozanine Woodlands. You are aware that this forest is something you guys have never experienced. It is known as the ever-changing forest. And even glancing in, you hear, you know the sounds of when you're standing in a cornfield, how you can hear it moving and growing? It's similar to that sound, with the sounds of birds and nature and various sounds, but you do hear wood creaking and vines shifting as you're just staring, and this path looks going deeper and deeper until it just goes into a blackness.
Will we hear that monkey
Yes, specifically listening to all the sound, you hear in the distance of a wah, wah.
I love it. I'm terrified. So is this a time distortion thing? Guys, how long have we been here?
I mean, we just kind of saw Harlem leave, so maybe a minute or two.
I can't tell if it's been days or hours.
Minutes. It has been minutes.
I think it's been a couple of minutes.
Well, where do we go? Where are we meant to go?
I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any kind of natural borders anywhere.
We're supposed to go north of the mountains, I think, right?
North. All right. Don't worry. I know which way is north. Fearless leader about to lead. Fedwin licks his thumb and puts it in the air to test where the wind is.
That's not gonna help.
Yeah, you feel a breeze on your thumb. You want to roll me survival?
It's that way.
It's perfect.
Actually, I did well. 19.
Yeah, you lick your thumb, stick it high up into the air, and you feel a breeze going on your thumb, and from your weird few moments with Anelios, you realize that, you know what? I remember this. She definitely, I think, maybe possibly talked about that in the morning, around now, the wind flows to the shoreline, which is west, so you know north is that way. And you start pointing in the direction of where you need to go. It is, even glancing over the tree line, you would see that you're pointing roughly the direction where you see a mountain cap.
Oh, could have just followed that.
Ah?
I'm gonna give Fedwin a high five. That was pretty awesome.
Ha!
No.
I have to jump 3 feet to hit his hand. But it's okay.
Get a running start.
Yeah, it's a mid-5 for you. So you guys start heading deeper into the forest, I'm guessing?
Yes, towards the mountaintop.
So you start walking into this forest, and as you are walking, you see very bright, vibrant flowers, colors that you haven't really seen in natural wilds before. You see large sizes of flowers, some that look that it'd be a petal that you could even lay on, Fedwin. They look massive.
Holy shit.
Glancing around, you see various different animals in the distance. Nothing that you really can recognize just due to the darkness and the movement movement through the trees. This is very thick with nature. You can tell it's a little different than what you're used to in the material plane, as animals don't have that innate sense of danger when humanoid creatures are around, so they more so look at you, see you, and just kind of keep moving about. Can one of you roll me a survival check, please?
I shall.
And then the whole party just rolls me perception.
7 for survival.
9 for perception.
2 for Fedwin.
13 for perception.
Nice.
So, with you all being enamored by the sounds and various...
We're gonna get robbed.
Yeah, so glancing around, Polly, you start to realize that you've seen a lot of these plants before, and as Fedwin is just more surprised by the size of vegetation and the various animals and all this, you're just enamored by the entire adventure. But Polly, you start to kind of realize that it feels like you're walking almost in circles, and looking around you even see like the shift of a tree as like you watch bark slowly rotate and kind of change in location.
Guys, we may be walking in circles. Just maybe.
No, we're not walking in circles. You just look at the size of this plant.
Well,
I look normal.
yeah, I mean, it's quite the plant. It's very
Hey,
impressive.
Polly, quickly, take my sketch with it.
I can't quickly take a sketch, Fedwin.
No, but you can't. You have night vision. Just take a sketch.
All right. Polly's gonna take out one of his.
So this Polly sits for half an hour to sketch Fedwin.
Sure. Do you want to just roll me like a performance check?
Sure. 13.
So you get like a decent sketch. It doesn't look anything major of details, but you get the important parts, like massive plant, Fedwin with his hammers, that very cheeky smile, and that bowl cut.
Wild.
All right. So back to this we're walking in circles business. Well, it just seems like we've seen this before, and the trees are shifting.
To be fair,
Not.
all trees look alike.
You make an excellent
So, I mean-
point. But may I point out?
Yeah, but he is a wood elf.
I have lived in the woods.
That's another good
for,
point.
You know, hundreds of years. I think I can tell one tree apart from another. On a good day.
How old are you?
At least 47.
Never mind that. The point is, we may be walking in circles. Let's leave a trail. How about we take one of these large petals and we'll rip little pieces off of it.
Okay.
So you think it's alright to destroy nature just because we need to?
Capitalist
Yes.
swine.
How about we take a rope? Or do we have some sort of ribbon? Perhaps we'll tie that to the trees and we'll just keep walking, and as we pass by a ribbon, we know we've already been there.
Yes, let's take some large flower petals and we'll cut them into ribbons. Excellent idea, Fedwin. And
You're
I'm
having
gonna
a plot
go
line.
take my dagger and I'm gonna take a big flower petal and I'll try and shave it just into one long strip.
Okay.
What do you think Anelios will say? Isn't she made out of plants?
Who's made out of plants?
Anelios!
No, she wasn't a plant.
Are you sure? Because her skin was green.
No, I don't think she was a plant at all.
Many green things are not plants.
No, I'm thinking she's a part of like the ecology here. I think she'll know if we take a rip a plant apart. It's probably her cousin or something. Just don't touch it. I'm really trying to impress her. In case you haven't noticed.
Fedwin, why are you trying to impress her?
I don't know. I mean, something. I don't know. She seems nice. She seems, I don't know, pretty cool to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you end up being able to string along this various of petals after having this argument in terms of where you're going. As you draw this out, you start to watch and it trail behind you. You keep walking for a little bit, and eventually you start to see that, yeah, trees are shifting, various nature is moving. Even you'll watch as your more petals cover over various trails, revealing other ones. And you do glance to notice that your string of petals is actually like now under foliage from the last time, but you do see you're walking in almost a circle.
I told you it was a circle. It was a circle all along.
Well,
What if
Can we see the mountain from where we are?
Yeah, so with the tree line, you actually are having trouble. So standing on the edge of it, you could see over the trees, but just by how thick the foliage, not even light is penetrating through these.
Can we do like an acrobatics routine where like Theo stands on my hands and I just like hold him up?
Yeah, like they did in The Hobbit.
These trees are probably closer to 50 to 60 feet tall.
Oh, we'd have to climb. Okay.
Gotcha. Freaking big trees.
Those are some big trees.
Why don't we climb one of the trees?
Yeah. Can we climb one of the trees?
We go climb them, get to the very top, and then get a bird's eye view, just like the day we met. Hey guys, bird's eye view. Remember that classic line?
Aw,
First day we met.
me.
A small tear goes from Theo's eye, and he quickly wipes it away, hoping no one sees.
Aww.
All right, let's try to climb this tree then.
Fedwin would like to give them like a leg up. Like he'll be the one to boost them all up first.
Can I use in my burglar's pack? I have like pinions or.
Yeah, so I'll just say one athletics check to see if you can do it.
All right, please don't die.
Can I do acrobatics instead of athletics?
Sure.
Ah.
And Theo, you'll get advantage. Polly, you won't, just because like
Oh, thank God.
I picture this old man just like lumbering up and then just like backflipping from tree to tree.
10.
Oh, acrobatics check. Oh yeah, 22.
You'll never guess what I rolled for the first one, Tom.
You rolled a nat 1.
I rolled a 0, technically.
Oh,
1 minus 1 is 0.
nice.
But the second one was a 7, so.
So, Fedwin, you being the good friend you are, kind of create yourself as a springboard for Theo, and as he sprints up to you, jumps onto your feet, you launch him into the air, and then he kind of misses the first 2 pinions and just starts falling back down to catch it on the last one, only ending up being like another 3 or 4 feet above where he would have been.
Nice. That's a whole Theo height.
So yeah, Polly, you end up just like kind of running up the wood of like the base of a tree and catch a branch. And as you do, you feel like you can push yourself higher, but you feel this tree begin to shift, so you lose your balance a little. But then you just see Fedwin with his wooden leg apparently becoming one with nature, just with his hammer on his back, climbing like this is second nature to him. And so eventually you all kind of make it up, but Fedwin at like 3 times the pace. And as you get to the top, you begin to try and stick your head out of the foliage, and you eventually pop your head out and see that you're only about 50 meters into the forest, but you guys have been walking for a couple hours. So you've definitely been walking in circles, but you do see the mountaintop again.
If the foliage is that thick, do you think we could, like, monkey swing through it and, like, keep poking our heads up?
No.
Darn.
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing. Or like Tarzan, walk on one branch from a tree to one on the next tree.
You could definitely try that.
Let's give her a go.
Fedwin looks down at the tree that he's in, and he just says, excuse me, not sure if you're intelligent, but if you are, can you get us to the mountain?
No, so
My name's Fedwin, and
you
I'm
say
disabled.
this, and all you hear in the distance is,
Legally, you have to help him.
but no tree helps you.
I'm gonna do the same kind of. I'm gonna do the same call back to that
Okay.
sound.
Polly's gonna start edging out on a tree branch, so he's gonna try and find one where he can hold one that's a bit higher up while he stands on one underneath him, and hopefully that connects to a good one on the next tree in the right direction.
All right, and also, Theo, can you roll me an animal handling, please?
I'm about to get like messed up. Okay, that's okay. Oh, not 20.
So, nat 20, you perfect the sound. And like a couple moments go by as you see that Polly is kind of shimmying his way from like finding tree branch to tree branch. It's a very slow path, as it's not like these trees are very connected, but it's not like every branch is thick enough, so it's more testing it. But because you've known the wild and like you grew up in the woods, you definitely are able to find a decent path for you. You glance back though, and you see that like there is now this little tiny bug-eyed monkey just like kind of now sitting in front of Theo, and he just quietly places down what looks to be a fruit in front of it, and he like nudges it toward Theo, and there's just like a moment of like he's now just watching you.
Oh, I really want to keep it. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bite of the fruit.
Okay, so you bite it, and it's a bit of a bittersweet taste. Like, there's a tang to it, almost like a grapefruit. But as you do, like, you see, like, there's a bit of an excitement in this monkey-like creature's face. More so, not like he tricked you, but like you've accepted his gift. And he's,
I'm gonna do that back to him, and I'm gonna crouch down in front of him. I'm gonna give him the fruit, and I'm gonna call back to him.
so in the distance, you see him, like, kind of excited, and jumps from another branch and kind of gestures you, like, in a direction.
Everyone, follow me! And I'm gonna get some like stump glue, and I'm gonna give him like a little hairdo so we can like know that it's ours. You know, maybe a little mohawk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so you kind of, with this, treat it like hair gel and kind of like just spike a little mohawk on him. So he's got these bright emerald green buggy eyes and a couple patched hairs, but specifically this nice little like darkish mohawk that sticks out from his mane.
Nice. We also should come up with a name for him. Bellini 2, that's his name. Come on, guys, Bellini 2 is leading us.
Try to make a headband with like 2 tall, pointy leaves. So he looks like Bellini.
We're like ruining this poor monkey.
We just have to dye his hair pink. And Fedwin finds a stick that he kind of whittles into a point and glues it to the monkey's nose.
I think that's a horrible idea. I'm gonna try and like stop him from putting it on his nose. He needs that to smell.
Are you actually
It's
doing
as
that?
if he never left.
Are you?
Yes.
Wait, you?
No, I put the 2 leaves in then, and I do put a stick on the nose.
Fedwin, can you roll me animal handling, please?
6.
So you excitedly seeing that Theo has obviously made a friend, which means he's your friend too, bull rush up and just like start trying to like make over him. Like you just grab a leaf and try and wrap 2 sticks on top of his head, and then like a snowman are trying to just like with like the glue slap it onto his nose, but like you are being careful. He just starts freaking out, and you just see him panicking, and eventually he just kind of like gets away from your grip. I need a dex save from you, Fedwin.
19.
Nice. So you see as he kind of gets out of your grip, and he takes what looks to be like an old pit of a fruit and just throws it at you, and you're able to kind of dodge out of the way and balance on the tree branch without falling
I
off.
pick it up and I throw it back.
No! I want to try and catch it before it can get to him.
You couldn't catch the bit, but as you look in the distance now, Theo, you see as this mohawked monkey friend is now just fleeing. You have lost its trust.
Bellini 2, come back!
I'm gonna try and call out to it again.
Are you 2 done playing with the monkey? Can we please go?
There's just a dead silence.
Alright, can I remember where, like, in what direction it was leading us?
So it was heading toward more of a west direction.
Hey everyone, like, come on. I think it was trying to lead us where we want to go. And I'm gonna say, this way, and I'm gonna start going that way.
How does the monkey know where we need to go?
Again, it's a monkey. Yeah, Theo, do you not trust in the intelligence of your peers? Because I don't trust the monkey. That's how much I can tell you. I think it's cute to make him up to be on New Bellini, but I don't think we should be trusting an animal.
Well, I mean, I'm going with my gut feeling on this one.
Yeah, I still think I'm gonna head north. The wood elf, the one who's had training to stay in the forests its whole life. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Polly.
Go on. If we keep going in circles, we'll try to go west like the monkey said.
I guess I'll go with them then.
Nah, let's split the party.
Oh boy.
As you go deeper into the forest, you start to realize this forest is very much so alive as you're watching from above and even feeling the shift in the trees. Every so often you'll be heading in a north direction. You'll feel the tree that you're standing on itself kind of twist and shift and change, and you looking down, you'll see various leaves of foliage almost on like a systematic pattern, covering up various trails to reveal new ones. You'll see even different colored orientations shift so it looks similar to a different path.
Do we still know which way is north based off of our treetop area?
You've got a rough idea. You're still heading in a general direction. Every so often you can pop your head up and see that, recollect your bearings, but you could tell that if you were just staying on the ground, it would be a lot more difficult. Eventually your tree line comes to a bit of an end. You see that the forest begins to reduce in its thickness, and you see a bit of a clearing ahead that you won't be able to follow the treetops anymore. This treetop, though, when you finally glance at that clearing, you see that there are various stone circles as well as what look to be crude statues.
Well, it looks like this is where we have to go down.
Let's do that.
What do the statues look like?
Maybe these are all old golems, like failed pest projects by, what's his name, Saffron or Chef Shrofan? Yep, Shrofan. Maybe these are his rejects. Perhaps we're getting close to Lycankive.
Perhaps.
Okay, let's see. There was a pattern, if we think about it. The first one that we met was named Hudson. The next one was named Harlem. What do you think these ones are going to be named? Hudson's Bay. Harvey. Hillebrand. Hannibal.
Yes. Let's go have a closer look, shall we?
Then none of them are responding, but I think we're onto something. Calling them by their names. Maybe say their names 3 times. They'll wake up.
I'm gonna plant the bow.
Polly's gonna try and climb down from the trees.
And Fedwin too.
I'm gonna plant the bow and I'm gonna fire one into one of the statues.
So yeah, you climb down the tree, and Theo, you fire an arrow, and you watch as it sticks in with a... You see it just now. There's this crude statue. The arrow is chipped into like an already created crack, so you more so just got lucky in your penetration. But the statue doesn't move.
And I'm gonna start walking towards wherever that clearing was, that direction. I'm gonna try anyway.
I'm gonna follow Polly, and as Fedwin goes near the stones, he's gonna keep shouting names that start with H.
None of the statues react. You see these ones don't look as well crafted as Hudson and Harlem. And eventually you stroll in. As you approach this clearing, you see there are various stone circles around these statues. Glancing at these statues, you see some look to be half man, half bull. You see various ones that look even like more of a monkey, not in terms of Bellini 2, more as if a monkey looked like a person. So the very humanoid features, but the hairy paws and the long tail, but they are dressed in clothes in these circles.
Hey, Polly, what did Anelio say about the races here? Or was it Saffron, not Saffron, Shrofan? Didn't they say that there are different sorts of species here that we might encounter? Ones that are partly kit, partly... The thing that Harlem's based off of.
I think she did say something like that.
It's like a Texie? I think they said they were Texies. Part cat, part man. Texies. I believe she said Texie.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Yes.
Definitely something like that.
So do you think these were real? Do you think these are all just... I think someone turned these Texies into stone? Or do you think they were just carving them, thinking about what a nice real-life taxi would look like? You think that Shrofan's got a thing for the cat folk?
Well, let's see. And I take a closer look and see if there's any tool marks on the statues or maybe even some small writing.
Like a signature?
I'm gonna hang back with my bow.
You two step in, and you examine the one that you have claimed as taxi, and you examine it, and you can tell this isn't made by any, it doesn't look as though this were chip worked, it doesn't look as though it were carved. This just looks like a crude statue of a tabaxi, or taxi as you call it.
I think you may be right, Fedwin. This was turned to stone. Definitely some dark magic at work here.
Yeah, that frightens me, Polly, because, we don't know what turned these things to stone, and what's to say that we won't turn to stone as well? I think we should all just wear blindfolds and keep walking through the forest. Perhaps if whatever's turning these people to stone doesn't see us, we can't see them, I think this makes some solid sense.
What pose are they in?
You glance over and you see the half man, half bull standing on more of almost like a pondering pose, more like he's just thinking. The other one is standing as though he's impatient, and the tabaxi, you can tell there's fear indeed. Like the details look more of like he is afraid.
Did you say there was like a stone circle around each statue?
Yes.
So Fedwin removes one of the stones.
You cannot pick up the stone. It seems like it's similar to like a stone deep into the earth. Like you see the surface of it. When you try and pull on it, you can tell like it's a lot deeper into the ground than expected.
Then Fedwin takes out his hammers and starts chiseling at the ground, trying to dislodge one of the stones.
The farther you go in, the deeper it is. You can't really see the bottom of this stone and you even see like the dirt's not really giving way too much.
Guys, there's something fucky with the ground.
Maybe it's best if we just keep going. There's nothing of much importance here. We could try to knock over the statues. I don't know.
Well, if they weren't carved, that means that they were alive earlier. And I don't really feel good about leaving someone who was turned to stone.
But you can't bring stone back to life. That's just absurd.
Well, we could fit them in the bag of convenient placement, perhaps. Stretch it. I believe Theo's pretty good at stretching holes, so we should try and put it in there.
No. All right.
I mean, he's a gnome. It's not really big.
So Polly, Fedwin, as you try and step out from this ring, you realize that like there's something keeping you within this stone circle.
Like, he cannot leave?
As in, like, he tries to step over it, and there's just a certain point where his body stops moving forward in that point.
I'm glad it didn't go in.
Theo! We can't move our legs!
Oh dear. This is bad. This is not good.
You see, now this is, this is what we get, we come here to admire the statues, we're gonna become part of it. You know what, maybe that's what happened to the Minotaur. Maybe he wasn't voluntarily turned into stone, because, he looks like he's in a thinky pose, but he didn't plan for that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, let's start thinking of our poses now, Polly, as we are to become part of this statue assortment. So I'm thinking, Fedwin the Harmony Vest. I'm gonna put my arm out like this. What do you think? People remember me?
I refuse to become a statue. I would rather be part of the dirt or a tree. I could be turned into a tree. I would be a great tree.
Well, think of your pose fast because our legs aren't moving anymore. Mine are a little too close to really look cool.
So, Fedwin, it's not like your legs have stopped moving. It's just if you were trying to step over the circle, you can't get that foot over the stones.
Oh, okay, panic for no reason. You know what? Forget what I said. We're fine. Theo, we're not turning to stone. You can come down. But there's something real fucky with the stones. You can't really get into their circle.
Are they in, like, separate ones?
So essentially, there are 3 separate statues. It'd be your tabaxi, your minotaur, and a Veneris, which is your monkey-like race. You two are both at the tabaxi.
And the statues are in the circle?
Yes, so essentially each statue, it's not like they are dead center in the circle, they are just strewn about. Looking around, you are in this clearing. Each circle is about 20 feet into the clearing. The clearing itself is maybe 30 feet in radius, so about 60 feet across. And with what you are seeing, they're in various poses, but it seems like their pose don't really have anything to affect them. With closer looking, you see they do have various weapons. The Minotaur has a large axe and a crude sling on his hip. The Veneris has a blow dart and what looks to be a quarterstaff. And the Tabaxi has 2 daggers on its hip, but no ranged weapon.
And what's in the center of the circle?
Doesn't look like it's anything. It looks as though it's just a clearing and a field. Nothing in the center.
What happens if I try to jump out of the circle?
So you jump, and as you kind of go airborne, you feel your body slow to a point where if you were going to hit this invisible wall almost, your body kind of physically stops there, almost hitting a surface and sliding down.
Wait, are we stuck?
We are indeed
Yes.
stuck.
Ah!
No!
Theo! Panicking! Part 2! We are panicking!
And so can I get Polly and Fedwin to roll me a con save?
I'm gonna call the monkeys.
Maybe Bellini too will come and help us.
Natty 20!
Hey.
Woo!
10. So, Polly, glancing over, you don't feel anything, but you look and you see actually a more of a grayish pale to Fedwin's skin. And even looking at like his lower legs, you see what looks to be like almost a stone color.
Ha! Ha! Yeah!
Oh dear. Fedwin,
I'm feeling kind of like tripe.
how are you?
You know, I think I've been better.
Fair. We need to get out of here.
Is my prosthetic becoming stone also?
No, your prosthetic is wood.
Fedwin hucks it, tries to huck it out of the circle. Just take my prosthetic, remember me by it. It's the better part of me.
You watch as your prosthetic flies out of the circle and it just lands safely outside of the ring.
Well, how come that was able to do it? How come us organic beings are not able to escape this circle? However, my leg was. You know what? The leg's also organic. I don't really. You know what? This magic is inconsistent. Maybe we shouldn't have any heartbeats. If we temporarily die and leave the circle, perhaps that's a way out.
I'm gonna ask Fedwin and Polly to try and remove the taxi, as they call it, out from the circle.
Yeah, let's try and push the statue outside of the circle.
All right, I am not saying no, but if I freeze in that pose, I don't want people to remember me by the man who pushed. All right, I need to get into a cool pose by the time I'm done.
That's a good pose. Pushing, great pose.
I don't. Says who?
Whizzing yourself. Bad pose. Whizzing.
Well, you won't be able to see it. If I become stone, does my piss become stone? You know what? I'm gonna piss. I'm gonna take a piss. Is it coming out as like stones?
Just kidney stones.
No, you're just peeing.
It's a lot of kidney stones.
So, can you guys roll me a perception check?
23.
11.
Fedwin, concerned about whether your pee is stone, you're not really paying too much attention to what else is going on. Polly, you glancing around, you notice near the tree line look to be little runic, almost dream catchers hanging in the distance.
Theo!
Yes, Polly?
There's things hanging near the tree line. Could you see what they are?
Are they opposite my tree line or like underneath my tree line?
They are opposite your tree line.
60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll dash and then use my cunning action to use a bonus action to dash again.
Okay, yeah, you end up just like getting there. For some reason felt the need to do it really fast. Just you see him like a cartoon sprint down the tree across and then up.
I inspect these things.
So you look and you see that they have what look to be a crude drawing. In this dream catcher looks to be a almost stone like circle around it with a runic gem in the center of it. And by looking, Polly, you notice that you probably could get almost like a line of sight where if you were to look through them, they would match up with the circles on the ground.
Theo! I think each of those things lines up with one of the circles. Try taking it out of the tree.
What do you mean? It's in the tree.
Remove it.
I'm gonna look through from its position in the tree.
Fedwin also tries to get Theo's attention in the meanwhile, and he says, shake, shake, puts his, male parts back into his pants, and he says to Theo, what kind of pose should I freeze in? Like this? And he extends his arms out with his his hammer facing the north, or he says, should I pose more like this? As I'm going to die very soon.
You're not going to die, Fedwin.
You're not the one turning to stone!
You're not gonna die. Don't worry, I'll get you out of this.
Just a quick question. Who has the bag of convenient placement?
Yes, the toad of convenient placement is with Theo.
Are you gonna ask to jump in the tote and then I bring you out?
I want to try it.
Pretty sure people die when they go in there.
No, you've got 10 minutes of breathing time.
What? That's awesome.
So the way a bag of holding, or for you guys, your toad of convenient placement works, you have 10 minutes of air divided by the number of creatures.
Got it.
So yeah, you end up doing what you're doing, and Theo, when you look through it, you see that, looking at similar angles, they do kind of point down toward those rings, but so there's probably some connection to them.
Theo,
Yes, Polly?
bring me one of them.
Okay. And I'm gonna grab one of them. I'm gonna tie it to an arrow. I'm gonna plant my bow. And I'm gonna fire it into the statue.
plant your bow, draw it back, and as you draw it back, this time you've planted it, you hear almost a gear clicking, like there's a spring load that's giving more power to it, and as you release it, you hear almost like a flywheel zip. As you release, these gears shatter through, the bow kind of collapses back into your hand, and it launches down, and you hear this heavy impact, and as this lands, the actual stone itself slams into the statue, and you hear it crack, and you see one of the rings. Which one did you fire? Are you firing the one that would line up with theirs, or?
Yeah, I would go with that one first, I think.
So as this happens, you see all these little stones kind of crack as you watch this runic gem break off the statue, and even the statue itself kind of begins to crumble. So essentially you watch as this ring breaks. And Fedwin, glancing down, little stone chips you had on your leg kind of dissolve off, like a more turning into a soft clay.
I think it worked for you!
That did the job. Thank you.
Can I take the other two?
You're just taking them?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Can we, Fedwin attempts to leave the circle now.
That's a good point. You should do that.
You are able to leave the circle now.
All right.
Polly wants to pick up the runic thing that's there, and I want to have a closer look at it.
So examining, it was a deep ruby red gem with black little flakes in it, and you look at the symbol and it matches similar to the same dialect that you saw in the book that you got with the language you vaguely recognized.
And if I look through it, does it...
So looking through it, you see almost energetic connections. Stone ring you had has no connections to it, but looking at the other two rings that you have in your hand, you see almost like ethereal tethers connecting to it. So there's almost an energy you can see through this gem.
I would like to put this gem into my bag of treasure.
All right.
Is it a clear gem?
It's a deep ruby red gem with black flakes in it, but it is transparent enough that you'd be able to catch light through it.
Yeah. So my guess, as I know everything about these kind of deep magics, is that perhaps we should light a fire, shine a light through, and my guess is that it'll make a portal.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I don't think that's how it works, but if you would like, tonight when we make camp, we can try it. For now, I think it's best if we keep going.
Have you ever tried it, Polly? Yeah, alright. Pretty sure that's exactly how it's going to work.
Are the other two gems the same color?
Yes, they are.
Fedwin wants to get, why don't we put them on each of the statues? One gem at each of the statues. But then we shine a light through it. And portals.
I'm afraid I don't think it's that simple. Also, we promised those people to help them.
Anal Leos and Saffron.
Those ones.
Well, what about the taxi? I feel sorry that it turned to stone. I didn't like turning to stone. I was just about prepared to give my prosthetic to Theo.
But
That was going to be my gift to him.
I mean, I don't think...
Put your leg back on, Fedwin, and let's keep going.
Yeah, so you guys have solved the puzzle. You're good. But can everyone roll me a perception check now?
I got another natural 20.
Dang, okay.
Meanwhile, I'm out here rolling 3 + 4.
2.
Fedwin, you got a 2. You are at this point just more concerned with these statues than anything else. But Polly, glancing around, you start to hear sounds in the forest that aren't just the sounds you're used to. It's not the creaking of the wood or the shifting of the vines or the ooh, ooh of a hurt monkey in the distance. You hear almost the sound of things approaching.
Is it monkeys? Does it sound like a horde of monkeys approaching?
Sounds like a horde of angry monkeys.
It does not sound like a horde of monkeys.
Oh, good. I was worried that a horde of monkeys would come for us after Fedwin's horrible attempt to dress one up.
Was he okay with the mohawk?
Due to your animal handling, you were playing with him, you were more of a grooming. Fedwin Moore was just excited, like a child trying to pet a dog, just slapping and dragging the hand across, just no care for its feelings.
Getting rid of all of its hair.
Pulling at the tail so it doesn't walk away.
Those grow back, right? If you pull them off. Like a lizard, right?
Yeah, Theo, you're more concerned on Fedwin, who is just trying to, like, not really help anything, just more so trying to start a fire to make a portal for whatever I don't know where you got that idea from,
You
but...
shine the light through the gym and it creates a portal. It's science.
Guys, Fedwin, Theo, something's coming.
Do you need us to give you some time alone? Do you need to go to the washroom, old man?
What does it sound like?
Do you hear it?
Was the
Listen.
food that we ate earlier too fibrous for you?
Chewing off the wrist.
No, I'm quite well. Don't worry. I only go to the washroom every couple days. It's all good. No, listen with your ears. Do you hear that?
As this happens, you eventually point and you see what looks to be a bullman. A couple of them step out. You see them adorned in thick, dark robes with large great axes, similar runic gems on them. And eventually, one of them just starts applauding you.
Thank you.
like a
Who
cult.
are you?
Polly's gonna start bowing as if it's all his master plan.
Fedwin holds Theo's arm and Polly's arm, and like they do in a play where the arms go up and they all go down.
Theo's just gonna like swing all the way up, get lifted, and then slam into the ground.
Not many men figure out these kind of tricks. And I applaud you for getting so deep into the woods. But I must ask, what are you doing in the ever-changing forest?
Well, you see, the puzzle was quite simple. As soon as we realized we couldn't leave, we knew that we had to escape. So the answer was very clear.
Yes, the key to your puzzle was panic. And upon panicking, our eyes were darting around. And as our eyes darted, we saw your little dream catchers there with your little portal gym.
They all kind of look back and forth to each other. You had us until portals.
Well, have you ever shone a light through your gyms?
Yes? Have you?
Well, no, but we're going to try it later.
No, we haven't. We are looking for a camp with men.
Lichen camp.
Go on.
Yes, lichens.
And you see one kind of get closer in more of an aggressive pose, and he steps up and he just starts almost sniffing you. What, are you looking for a lichen camp? Are you one of them? Are you lost?
No, we're there. We're going to exterminate them.
No, we need to retrieve something from the lichen camp.
Also, what are you? Yet we've never seen any of you before. We said statue here. By the way, is that statue or a man? Oh, like one of your men. Or is it a lady? Oh god, is that a lady?
No, that's not a lady, but 'twas be the fate of one of our brethren. Looking for a lichen camp, that's very bold of you. And what do you mean you haven't seen one of us before? We haven't seen one of you before. You look almost as though you should be lichen. You have no animal features to you. What are you?
I'm an elf.
Fedwin Harmony Vest. Goliath Barbarian.
Non-threatening.
And non-threatening.
And he kind of looks you up. Non-threatening indeed.
Good. Fedwin, Harmony Vest, please report to the burn unit.
Can I be honest?
Yeah?
I know that they're like half bull men people, but I'm just picturing centaurs.
I was visualizing like man tartars, like he's like bull from the up, but also bull down, but then like bull to the side, so like a centaur, but all bull. Bull top part, but bull back.
So just a bull.
A set of human arms, essentially like a regular bull, but with like a set of human arms, like at the humanoid chest area.
No. So looking at these men, they've got more bull legs, but the torso itself is more human, very muscular, and the head is more of humanoid features, but with a more of a bull snout and the horns.
Is there a name that I can look up?
Yeah, Minotaur.
Okay, cool. I know what that is. All right.
Anyways, so with all this going on, eventually he looks and goes, well, it's a bold move, but we've never seen anything like you before. Are you even... What? You elf. What is an elf?
Well, you see, an elf. We're not from this plane, okay? Give us a small,
He leans back to the rest of the camp. I think they've I think they've burned the petals. Not from this plane, like there's anywhere else to come from.
I'm gonna like go up to Paul and be like, they don't know about the other planes, remember? It's over 2,000 years ago.
No, not. We're from very far away.
Yes, and as I was saying, I'm Fidwin, and I'm part human and part storm giant. But I prefer to identify mostly with the human part.
We just moved here.
You're talking mad.
Could you point us in the direction of the lichen camp?
Well, of course, we'll guide you your way out, but we do recommend to bring tribute if you're going to the lichen camp. Generally, without offering, you're a dead man.
What kind of offering?
We plan on making it a massacre, mate.
Oh, don't worry.
We'll bring plenty of offerings. And I like pat my arrows.
Brave short man.
I'll have you know I'm actually above average for my height.
What do you mean, what kind of offering? Are you daft? Are you of sound mind? Do you not know what...
See, for example, my god is perfectly fine if I offer her a loaf of bread or a nice rabbit I've caught. You know, just anything of that sort, really. I'm not sure what people here consider to be appropriate offering.
You know, an offer.
And with how menacing you said it, I assumed you meant like another person.
No, food and coin will work, but, I do warn you, since you seem to be new to this land, lichens don't take kindly to anyone that isn't them. They hold the highest point on the totem, if it were. They'll burn your village down if you don't have a tribute that suits their customs.
Oh, that's great! We don't have a village here! That works! Alright, guys! That's a totally fine consequence. None of us are gonna have to pay it. Aces, let's just storm the camp.
Perfectly acceptable. Problem solved.
The best thing I can warn you is that generally you won't find a tribe like ours. We rely on the woods to keep us safe. It's survival of the fittest in this land, as you apparently are foreign. Kill or be killed is essentially what we live by.
Yeah, you know what? We've already actually fought already one of your Larkin friends.
Well, we are the most fit. We have killed quite a few. I think we'll do just fine.
Just point us in the direction and,
Yeah, we fought one back near our lands, since you apparently don't think that there's other planes. Ha! What kind of fool doesn't believe in other planes? Idiots. Yeah, no, we actually fought one of these Lycans back in our
I'm gonna shoot Fedwin to look like...
plane. Ah!
And as you're, like, talking like you're the sane one, they're all just kind of, like, just accepting that you're mad and... Right, well, follow the blue petals, keep them on your left side, and you'll find your way to the lichen camp. Be safe on your travels.
Thank you. Very kind.
Thank you.
Why are you being so nice to us as before you try to turn us into stone? Just because we solved your puzzle, we're worth your kindness now?
Yes, that's exactly how this works, Fedwin.
Yes, we are of the Ravens tribe. We thrive off knowledge. You've proven yourself of some worth, at least. We thought you did.
Raven tribe, huh?
Yes.
Where did you get that name?
Well, the raven would represent the wisdom and the knowledge, so we follow that tribe. Generally, you'll find those who follow their own ideologies and various totems to aspire to their gods. Ascension is all we ever hunt for, so not everyone will be as kind and worthy as we are. Keep the blue petals to your left, and you should be fine.
Fedwin looks to Theo and he's like, kind? Excuse me, they were turning me to stone. If I didn't have an outsider friend who got me the gems to turn it off, I'd be dead. I don't like these guys.
Well, I mean, we don't have to like them. We just have to trust that they're going to point us in the right direction.
Yeah, after saying, oh, we only trust your intelligence after not turning to stone.
And they have. So on our way we go for the Raven Queen.
For the Raven Queen, let's get this lichen skin so I can get back to Anelios. Let's go.
And as you start marching forward, glancing back, you see these minotaurs.
Bullman.
Yes, sorry, bullmen. Bullmen go off in various different directions. And you see as these stones that you had cracked originally eventually begin to form themselves back into their original position. And glancing up, you see another dream catcher hanging in the trees, blowing idly. And you start following. You keep the blue petals on your left. And you finally find yourself at the forest. And it's been hours, almost a full day's travel as you make it through to find eventually the base of this tree line, meeting the start of what would be the climb up this mountain, which, standing tall, Fedwin, you glance, and even this mountain makes your mountaintop home look small.
Wow.
How big is this mountain?
Big.
So the Lycans live at the top there?
Yeah, you see what would be essentially like a cloud line. The mountain goes beyond this cloud line.
Why do you reckon that Lycans would want to live up so high? Do they not require oxygen?
I suppose they might.
Yes, and as you have noticed, I can't read. I haven't had sufficient oxygen supply to my brain since I was born.
Didn't you live in a mountain?
Hey, Theo, do you think we're going to have a whole bunch of little Fedwins up there, except they turn into, like, dogs?
I mean, it's possible.
Understood. Well, nevertheless, we must go up.
All right, let's see if Bellini's there. Although, I think he could have escaped. We had her, Sarah. She looked like she was going to fall the last time we saw her. I'm sure Bellini could have bit her hand and escaped.
It's possible. It's our best bet right now.
I know. Do you think she would have taken him here, though?
You might be right, but we have to keep looking for him.
All right, well, at the very least, I can get a skin and I can really impress Anilios, I suppose. But I do miss Bellini. I hope he's here.
As you start traveling up the mountain, you start to see almost a presence of various creatures. You even see a small tribe of mouse folk, but you notice as they see you, they kind of skitter off. So more so they were doing about their things, and they see you, they skitter off in the distance. You see various different smaller looking creatures, similar to Bellini's size, but matching various different small animals, voles, gerbils. They all seem to keep to themselves.
I'm just curious really quick. How small are the mouse folk?
They're about a foot tall at most.
Okay.
And so as you round the corner of this weathered path, you glance down the road and you finally find some sense of familiarity as you see a lion curled up, sunbathing on a stone wall of this mountain face. And as you begin to move closer, though, you begin to notice that its tail leads off to a large, black, jagged claw on the end of it, looking similar to what a scorpion might have. And as you begin to take in all these details, you finally see it lifts its head, and as you meet its gaze, you see it has a face similar to human features, gleaming a dark grin filled with crooked teeth, sharp and emotionless eyes staring at you. It finally stands up and stands in the way of your path, licking its lips.
It doesn't know we're here if we don't move.
Hello.
Why'd you speak?
It could already see us.
And as you're having this conversation, you see large, black, tattered wings curl out from beneath its maned fur and glides down toward you. And it just starts kind of circling you. It's been so long since I've tried something new, and I'm so very hungry. Dinner came quickly.
Well, I'm afraid I am not a tasty treat. Far too bony, you see? Just lots of skin and bone.
No, you misinterpreted that, Polly. He said two separate things. It's been so long since he's tried something new, such as an activity, but on the plus, and the bonus, he's also hungry. It's two different things he's talking about. Get something out of your bag of tricks, hand him a little toy, perhaps a spin top.
Oh, he wants to go to dinner with us. Okay.
Yes, I think, you know what, we should share something that we have with him, but two separate activities. Why would you assume that he wants to eat us?
Stupid and bulky. It's going to be a quick meal for me.
He's hungry and he wants activity.
Theo's gonna spread his cheeks.
Wait, what? Wait,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Stupid and wants to stay still for me. Oh, it is my lucky day.
Listen here, you. You've been very rude. We've come to speak to. I'm not sure what lichens look like.
Or perhaps this is a lichen.
Dog people.
Oh, wait, yeah. No, we already met Sarah. Do you know the lichen Sarah? Well, yay tall.
Lichens are no friend of mine. They take my food. But you look free to take.
Well, then you should join us. We're going to go kill the lichen.
Plenty to eat there.
Going on a little hunting trip.
Yeah, actually, plenty to eat there. If you really want to fill up, it's like a whatever you want to eat buffet. But I claim the alpha. You can eat the alpha's innards, but I need the skin. There would be a lot for you there. I don't know if if you're truly hungry, we can really make it worth your time.
I don't want to sit and fight.
Well, how about we bring it back for you? There'd be more than enough for you to eat. You were really heisty.
In a to-go bag or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, Fedwin, one moment. I need to explain to this lovely thing that you've never eaten anything like us before, correct?
Yes, and I'm always willing to widen my palate.
I have to ask, how do you feel about spicy food?
I enjoy the odd spice. Why are
Odd
you...
spice. Well, I should warn you, our blood and flesh is so hot. It burns people's mouths to the point that their teeth fall out and they're never able to taste again.
Roll me deception.
14.
I doubt that, but I suppose we must live every life with risk, and I need to find out. And as he says that, Fed, when you see him quickly dart up and just a large, thick tongue grazes your cheek. I see no spice to it, but I am intrigued to find out.
Ugh, dude, I did not give consent. Ugh.
That was just the outside. I should warn you, we are quite trained, and we'll take you down, sir.
Yeah, I bleed liquid nitrogen.
Roll deception.
14.
Blue one. I don't like to be lied to, but if it's a fight you want, I'm willing to, make my meal worth it.
Yeah, man. Contradictory.
I thought you didn't want to fight for a meal.
Truly.
You're just a hypocrite, a liar. Huh, the lowest of the low.
Oh, stop talking and just die already. And his tail grows these thick tines.
How far away is he? I understand he's like circling, but how high?
No, he is pacing around you.
Wait, should I be picturing a sphinx or a manticore?
Manticore.
Okay, cool. I don't know. I was picturing a sphinx.
I'm gonna have everyone roll initiative.
Okay, that's gonna be an 18.
10.
Dirty 20.
Alright, so, Fedwin, as this manticore licks your cheek, it is your first go in initiative as he is now kind of just like pacing around you on this narrow path. It's maybe 15 feet wide. It's not high enough that you could take fall damage by falling off the side.
Does the lick count as something I can use to enact my rage?
Yeah, you can just rage.
Okay. So I'm gonna use my javelins to make holes in the wings so that this thing can't fly anymore.
Okay.
You know what? I just need to attack one of the wings because you can't fly with just one wing. You need two. So I'm gonna attack one wing, make a whole bunch of holes in it, and so this thing can't fly anymore.
Alright, roll to hit.
7.
So you thinking this is going, you just like stab forward, thinking the wing is just going to stay stationary as he kind of pulls it back in response to that. And as you do that, you see your arms lunge forward as this scorpion tail kind of strikes itself down, and you even watch as this thick metal spike dislodges from the tail, firing at you. Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
So yeah, as you lunge forward with your spear, his wing flaps back, and lifting a little low, his tine lashes out. This thick black spike slashes across your chest with a solid 8 damage, but since you are raging, it is half to 4.
Oh, good.
Nice.
And that would be, Theo, your turn.
How close am I to this guy?
You're about 5 feet from him.
Okay, so my bow would be at severe disadvantage.
Correct.
I'm going to bonus action disengage.
Okay.
Is planting the bow a bonus action?
It's not a bonus action, you just remove whatever move action you have left. So essentially, if you got 30 feet of move speed, you move like 10 feet, you plant the bow, you have given up the rest of your movement.
Okay, I'm going to get as far as possible that I can, so 25 feet, and then I'm going to fire the planted bow at him.
Okay, roll to hit.
18 plus 8.
Definitely hits.
Okay, 10 damage. Oh, and then plus another 8, so 18 damage.
Nice. So you sprint back, planting this bow, almost spinning yourself with it, hearing these gears click back as this flywheel spins off, firing this arrow. You see it grazes across his cheek, leaving this nasty gash near his wicked grin. And as this arrow just flies through, you just hear, "Stupid boy, just die!"
I'm a man. I'm just very small.
As it is now Polly's turn.
I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon near the thing.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Gonna obviously roll to hit, which is what I did.
All right.
It's a 16.
So that does hit, but what does your spiritual weapon look like?
I want it to look like a sword that's made out of like this black carbony shiny metal, so maybe almost like a really, really dark glass or really shiny metal, and it vaguely has these lines through it that make it look like a crow's feather, and even has a bit of a handle that looks like it's just the stem of like a feather.
This massive ethereal raven feather with a sharpened edge as it splays out grows behind it and slashes down, and for the first time you hear this heavy thud as you see almost this black glass slide through its back hind. As how much damage?
6.
6. So yes, 6 is this thick black glass looking weapon floating behind it, slashes into its back hind, doing 6 damage. You see this almost dark brown color come out of its where the cut has been created, and it is now back up to Fedwin.
Reckless attack, but with the javelins again at the wing.
Okay.
20! Nat
Okay.
20!
Nice.
Nice. All right, roll damage.
7.
So yes, you do that. Since it is a crit,
Yeah.
that is actually 14 damage. And you stabbing in, don't even go for where like the wing splays itself out. You stab deep into this bone as you hear almost a satisfying crack as this javelin gouges deep into its wing. And you watch as it kind of like tenses and straightens out in pain, and then kind of just like naturally crooks itself back in as you see this blood is gushing out in a dark brown. As you're watching it more twitch as the nerve endings, you see there is no feeling left in this wing.
Haha! You know, now it's always funny, you know, after you attack, they no longer monologue.
Excellent point.
I have no response. You see he's more like trying to think of something to say, just gritting in pain though.
Do you still want to eat us? You know, we could stop here, mate.
I've had worse for less. As he now gets his turn, he bites into you as this 9 damage seeps into you, reducing down to 4 because of your rage though.
Ew.
His deep, jagged teeth sucking deep into your ribs as you've plunged in. He is now clinging onto your ribs. Pulling back, you feel a chunk of meat come with it.
Ah! Ha, ha, ha.
And as this happens, he turns to you, Polly, and looks and goes, "Not spicy at all, I've noticed."
It's one of those slow burns, you know?
Liquid nitrogen.
You feel it on the way out.
Yeah, it's more of an exit hole kind of burn.
As Theo, it is your turn as you've seen him now just like, what color is your blood, Fedwin?
Let's make it blue.
His lower jaw is now soaked with a blue just goop.
So, because Fedwin said it's more of an exit hole kind of burn, I'm going to try and shoot it in his fudge factory.
You're not facing that direction.
No, I'm not.
Did you run behind Fedwin or ahead of Fedwin?
I think I ran, like, back down a bit.
Then you're not facing his fudge factory, as it were.
Then I'm going to try and shoot through his chest out that way with such power. That is what I'm going to go for.
All right, roll to hit.
16 plus 8, because I'm going to plant my bow.
Definitely hits, yes. Roll damage.
That's 15 damage.
15? Okay. And as you fire this arrow, you watch as it is supposed to go into his chest with the keen knowledge of exactly where that fudge factory may lie. But he moves as he pulls that away, and it more so grazes off of the front leg of his, where it would connect. And this damage goes, and he's now looking at the condition of himself, and he goes, maybe I had this wrong. Let's just call it even and go our separate ways.
I don't think so. You will either join us to fight them, or we will destroy you.
Join us or die, as they say.
Yes, you have to fight with us. I will shove javelins up your fudge factory, as Theo says.
What is with you and fudge? What even is fudge?
It's a very tasty treat.
It is your turn to hit, Polly.
Honestly, I have no idea. But here we go. My turn round. I'm gonna use my bonus action to attack with the spiritual weapon.
Yep.
11.
11 does not hit.
Okay, and I'm gonna use my action
swing.
to hit it.
All right, roll to hit.
22.
22 definitely hits. How much damage?
I think it's a 9, assuming the line goes at the bottom.
Yes. 9 plus 4 is 13. So yeah, you do this damage as now it is Fedwin's turn.
Let's just get this Warhammer damage going. Actually, no, I'm gonna talk to him. Okay, mate, we'll give you a deal. We'll stop attacking you. However, you have to help us kill the Lycans.
You realize that offer means I either die now or die later, right?
Yeah, so what would you like? A little bit of extended time in your life, or do you want to die right here on your stones?
I'd rather just like to part ways and call it a day.
No, that's not how it's gonna work. I will either kill you right now with my group of murder hobos, or you can help us destroy the Lycans. You have a choice.
You die first.
But we will leash you like a dog. We will leash you because we can't have you running away.
Like one way, it's guaranteed destructions.
All right, guys, let's kill him. Okay, Warhammer to the head. Rolling to attack. 18.
Yeah, that hits.
5 damage on.
So yeah, you crack this thing across the jaw and you see teeth kind of fly out a little as he's just beaten down. And you see now he just accepts that this is the situation and you see him turn tail and run. You're going to get an attack of opportunity on him. All of you, except for Theo.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Roll your attack of opportunity.
10.
7.
So this thing just turns tail and begins to sprint away. As it is your turn though, Theo.
I plant my bow and I let slip the hounds of war. That's what I call my arrows.
Yep.
It's a 19.
That does hit. Where are you aiming, sir?
Back of the head, obviously.
Okay, cool.
Where else would I be aiming, Tom? God, what's
I
wrong
don't know,
with
you guys had a thing about eggs and fudge.
10 plus 4, 14. Ka-chow.
Nice. This thing, it begins to sprint away as your arrow looks as though it's aiming for some reason, the fudge factory, grazing over top, and just...
You gotta aim low, that's how it works.
And just, you see this arrow find purchase through the skull, leaving the eye as it sails off into the distance. This thing kind of drags weight and just a heavy thud as it slides to a stop.
I like to think it like, you know the scorpion fall where it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to picture it does that. Start kicking it. Yeah.
So can we all run to this thing now? Like, can we catch up to its dead corpse?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. So Fedwin would like to start skinning it, just taking the skin right off, and he's gonna leave the pile of meat that's inside the manticore at the mouse people.
Roll survival at disadvantage. Or, you know what, I'll just say roll survival regularly.
15.
15? So you're able to get some of the skin. It's not the greatest work, but like you're not getting too much meat from it, as like once you see it's very like all twined together, very thick, and just you're not sure what's good meat, you're not sure what's bad meat, so it is...
So Fedwin would just like to head down the mountain just a little bit, just to leave it for the mouse people.
So you, with a like blue blood dripping down your side and a skinned manticore, walk up to these mountain folk who are already skittish and just drop a dead manticore in front of it. No words, just turn around and start heading back up the mountain.
Non-threatening, you say.
No, and then I look behind me and wink at them with a smile, and then I leave and walk into the sunset.
You don't see what happens. As you walk into the sunset, leaving this manticore corpse in front of it, you don't really see what happens. And as you start to finally head your way back up the mountain, you glance up to finally see this thick plume of black smoke coming up further higher in the mountain.
Well, there appears to be a camp up there.
Did we want to rest for the night? Or should we fight the Lycans?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we just fought an entire creature that's very large. Let's just take a nap.
I'm fine as well.
I was gonna say, I didn't take any damage. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I'm not, and I would appreciate the rest. We could all just rest over. We'll make our own fire. Oh, we could try out the portal gems. Actually, no, let's not make a fire because that'll probably attract attention. You know what, let's just freeze tonight. Let's just freeze on the mountain together. Everyone huddle close. We should probably take our clothes off to stay warm.
Thought this was a pretty warm climate.
Okay, well, let's take our clothes off to stay cool.
Yeah, it's a warm climate. You're gonna be good. So yes, glancing up at that path though, you do see what would be a small village and a thick plume of smoke coming up about a little farther up the mountain behind it. With this making camp, that's your guys' call.
R.I.P. I guess.
No smoke. No fires.
Well, yeah, but I think we're gonna rest for the night.
We'll rest. We'll rest, yes.
I kind of want to see, can we take, like, his tail and make a bag out of it or something? Like, just the end, so that everyone can see we've slain a manticore?
Sure, yeah. So we'll end the set. I'll give you, like, I won't even say worry about survival. You're taking your time on this over the long rest. So I'll say, yeah, you have a manticore tail bag.
Cool. Love it. I'm gonna strap it on my belt full of other small
Oh,
pouches.
this one is not a small pouch. It's like, it could be a full backpack.
Who would like a bag, then?
Fedwin, do you want a backpack? Since you aren't carrying any...
I don't know. Give it to Fia. Put it in the family fortune.
Should I just be the one who carries all the bags?
Okay. And on that, you sit on your hillside, watching this plume of dark smoke from a village, and decide tonight is a good night to sleep. So that is where we'll end our session. Thank you all for those who are still listening at this point. I applaud you. This is the end of session 9, or I guess it would be session 10 since we split 3 into 2 parts. It's a session. Thanks for listening this far into it. Once again, if you guys want to reach out to us, we have our Twitter, we have our Instagram. Both handles are Dice Guys Crit Last. You can find our podcast, if you haven't already, on Anchor, on Spotify, on YouTube. And if you want to reach out to us as well, you can find us at diceguyscritlast@gmail.com. We check that periodically. Twitter and Instagram is where we want to hear from you guys most. Let us know what you guys think, and let us know if you guys want anything more, or I guess at this point, what else would you guys like from us? Do you want to know about us ourselves? Let us know what you guys want more than just the podcast. On that, thank you for taking the time to sit down at our audio table, and have a good night.